What's going on, guys? So welcome back to another video on the channel today. Now today, boys, we have a very important video because we're going to be running you guys through our post-patch custom tactics for FIFA 21 on my main account, which is indeed the Kyren Road to Glory. Now, a little bit of history about this account and how we've done in Weekend League. At the start of the year, we hit back-to-back Elite 1 finishes with a 28-2 and a 27-3, and we did really well at the start of the year. However, EA dropped a big significant patch on us, which is the Elastico nerf and the AI blocking buff patch, as well as a few subsequent patches after that. And we really struggled from that point onwards. Since that first patch, we hit multiple Elite 3 finishes, and we even hit a Gold 1 finish, which was something I hadn't personally hit whilst I was trying in Weekend League for like 8 to 9 months. So I knew something had to improve. I knew we need to go back and improve our gameplay. We looked at our custom tactics. We tried to adapt them to the new patches. I think we were able to do that very successfully because in our past 2 Weekend Leagues, we've been able to hit back-to-back Elite 1 finishes once again. So we've been down and we brought it straight back up. And now I think is a beautiful time for us to go ahead and update you guys on the custom tactics that we are using in FIFA 21 with the new patches out. So hopefully you guys find this video informational today, and if you do, don't forget to hit a thumbs up as well as also hit the subscribe button. But before we get into any custom tactics, I do want to say I'm going to reiterate what we said in our first custom tactics video, which is it is also very important. Custom tactics are very good, but it's also very important to know the FIFA fundamentals down. Custom tactics can take you very far. However, if you don't know how to shoot properly, if you don't know how to pass properly, if you don't know how to defend properly, you're still going to have problems in your own FIFA gameplay. So those are 3 things that are very important, and if you don't have those fundamentals down, then it's going to be an issue. Now, also on top of that as well, these custom tactics are suited to how I play, and they may not be for you, but hopefully you do find them helpful. Try them out, see how they go, and if you do find them helpful, then awesome. If you don't, then maybe you need to try something that fits your gameplay style a bit more. I like to play relatively wide how I play, so a lot of wing play in my gameplay. But if you're not one of those people, then maybe these custom tactics aren't for you. But if they are, then maybe see how they go. But I think it is worth a try nonetheless. And if you do find them helpful, then beautiful. And we're able to help you quite a bit. So anyway, boys, enough jibber jabber. Let's get straight into the custom tactics today and show you guys what we're running on our account. Alright, guys, so this is the team that we've been running with. And what I want to do is I want to walk you guys through our thought process in order to develop the post-patch custom tactics that we've been running recently in order to get our better results. Now, if you think back to the start of the game, it was very easy to get in behind players' defenders. Players didn't play so deep because blocking wasn't such a big problem, and yeah, it was actually really easy to play fast and get behind and score very quick goals. And I found us having very high-scoring games with a lot of 6-5s and 5-4s. However, since that patch happened, since blocking got a bit buffed and we lost the ability to Elastico, I feel like a lot of people had been sitting a bit more deep and with a lot more people in their box, and the game really slowed down. I think a lot of people found that out. It's felt a bit more like a FIFA 20 than a FIFA 21, and because of that, we had to change up our custom tactics. So we were initially running a 4-2-2, and we were running like pressure on heavy touch, getting behind on a lot of our players, and just try to get people forward, get quick goals or score quick goals in order to get very good results. However, what we had to do now is we had to change our team to a 4-4-2, and the reason for this is that I feel that people have better defenders now, people sit a lot more deep now, and they don't allow you to just run in behind anymore. So switching to a 4-4-2, what it allows you to do is allows you to spread the play wide, and that allows you to create the gaps in your opponent's defense. Now, you guys see the 4-4-2 formation that I'm using right here. I sub off Michael Owen for Mane on our bench, and this is the team that we have. Now, running through you guys on our tactics, I once again play balanced 4 depth, I think that's 6 width, and it's just a relatively even, very well balanced setup on my custom tactics. The offensive style again is balanced. You can change that if you want to like a fast build up if you play a bit faster, but for me, I do like to play a bit of possession style as well as also try to attack the space where I can. So I play balanced, and I don't think the sliders down here matter all too much. I think it just depends if you want to have a wider play or more people getting into the box, or more people up for corners and free kicks. But realistically, at the end of the day, they don't matter all too much. Now, coming over to the formation, what I think is really important is you have two very good technical strikers. If you can't afford players like Neymar, like Ronaldo, like Mbappe, cards such as like Marcus Rashford will definitely do a job. You could even go for someone like a Ansu Fati if you have his player of the month, Bamba if you have their player of the month. Those sort of players that have a lot of pace but also are very good technically, good shooting stats. Even Ousmane Dembele could potentially play in a striker in a 4-4-2. And what I would suggest is you want to have at least one player who's like that getting behind player, so like a Marcus Rashford-esque sort of player, and then also another player which is like that false nine sort of player. And that's kind of how I have in Neymar and Ronaldo. Neymar's more of my cam sort of style player, and Ronaldo's that getting behind, strong body sort of type, and he runs my other striker. Now, on the wings, you guys know I sub in Mane for Owen, so I have Mane running on the left side and also Alessandrini on the right side. And what you want on the wings is just a lot of pace. You can also have skill moves if you use skill moves. I also have Rashford as one of my options there, and I can use the 5-star skills that Rashford has on the wing. And that's what I would just recommend. A lot of pace, good technical stats. They should do the job. They're going to really be your space creators in this team. So it's important to have people who are definitely fast. Now, in the midfield, I've got Renato Sanchez and Laurent Blanc. You just want people who can cover a lot of space. And Renato Sanchez is a perfect card for that. Another one is Kante. You've got other cards such as, I'd say, Paulinho's card, maybe even Sissoko as well. He could probably cover a lot of space. He's pretty big as well. So cards that there are a lot of options when it comes to options for center mid, and I think there's pretty good variety of players. Even in La Liga, you've got like Valverde and De Jong, and they would be perfect for 4-4-2. So those are the kind of players I recommend as the two center mid spots. And then your backline just needs to be a very solid backline, fast wing backs, good center backs. If you have the meta backline, Mendy, Varane, Joe Gomez, Semedo, they'll do perfectly fine there as well. So that's kind of the idea for the personnel. Now, I also want to run you guys through our player instructions. Our two strikers, we have one on false 9 again behind, and I said this before in our previous custom tactics video, but the reason why I do this is because I want to stagger the strikers. You want one giving you showing to give you an option, another one to make the run in behind, so you have that through ball option as well. You want to have options. If you have them both on balanced or both on again behind, you might not have that option show to you, and staggering them just means they become not flush with the defensive back four, and allows you just so much more flexibility when you've got two strikers in the attack. Now, also on top of that, for my wide mids, I like having stay wide on them because once again, we wanted to spread the defense and we want to create space. So having them stay wide means that they are able to spread the ball wide and you're able to pass it around in order to break down a defensive opponent. Now, also on top of that, I have get into the box of the cross, and this is really important because if you're running down one wing, the other wing is going to attack the box. Also on top of that, if you receive the ball, for example, with Ronaldo, Alessandrini is going to be making that ring inside that attacking run, and you can just lay off to Alessandrini for a crossbody shot, and that would work perfectly well as well. So I really like getting to the box of cross and stay wide. You can play around with this and see what you like, but that's what I personally enjoy. And then on my two center mids, it's very, very simple. Stay back or attack and cover center. We want them to stay in position so they're not going too far out of place. And Renato's already high, so he kind of goes forward regardless. And then also as well, we have stay back or attacking cover, stay back or attacking, and stay back or attacking. And you want them to cover center on these two, so they just stay in place. But the backline is just stay back or attacking across the backline. And that's basically it for the custom tactics for the 4-4-2. I think it's very important to have the width in attack now, just because if people are clogged up in the box, you can switch the ball and you have another avenue to attack down. But if you're playing relatively narrow, you kind of have to like pass in between players and be very, very quick with your play, which for some players, if they just stand off, they're not going to dive in and you're going to have a hard time getting in behind. So that's at least what I've found. Now, also on top of that, if you really wanted to, and you're really struggling with like defending in the 4-4-2, if you think it's too far high up, you can use the 4-4-2-2. I don't know where it is, but basically it just means that there is a there are two CDMs. I can't actually find the formation. There it is. There are two CDMs instead of center mids, so they just sit a bit deeper, and you've got that more defensive support. However, what I found with this formation for me personally is that a lot of the top tier players like to bring the ball back up and then recycle the ball back down. And I'm a very aggressive defender, so I bring out a lot of players, and that means there are gaps when I play with this sort of formation. However, with a 4-4-2, they're just a bit higher up the pitch, and that means I'm already there to press them if they kind of run back. So that's why I personally like the 4-4-2 better, but maybe try out the 4-4-2 too as well. I know a lot of people have had success with that. And yeah, those are my custom tactics for the 4-4-2, and that's kind of like the main gameplay style that I play for the majority of my games. Now, the other custom tactic that we've been running more recently is the 3-5-2, and the reason for this is I found that a lot of times there are some games where I need to throw people forward. I need to throw a lot of men forward, and what I run for this is the 3-5-2. I've got pressure on heavy touch, I've got balanced on defense, we've got more people up in the box, more more corners, more up on free kicks, and we're running 5 width and 7 depth. We want it to be relatively balanced with the width, but we want to be able to push up against people. So this one is definitely a bit more open, and you need to be comfortable with manually defending, but with our depth up at 7, we're able to win the ball back high up the pitch, and in a game where we're 1 goal down, 2 goals down, this is the sort of custom tactic that will allow us to get us back into the game. Now, once again, we're going to go through the formation. We're going to run you through the personnel. This is how it sets up. I actually run Neymar back down as a cam. I put Alessandrini to a striker. But basically, what you want to have is you want to have 2 fast strikers. Once again, one is a cam sort of player, one is again behind sort of player. I also have Neymar as like my central cam. And the good thing about this is it kind of plays like a 4-1-2-1-2. But you've also got wingers, where normally you have wing backs. So it's a bit different on how it sets up, where it feels like it's a bit more attacking than a 4-1-2-1-2, and I really like it for how it plays. Now, also on top of that, we have 2 wingers. Once again, you'd imagine Mane and Cuadrado over there, and Cuadrado's a really, really integral part to my play because Cuadrado defends exceptionally well, but also on top of that, he's a great attacker. So in a right mid, he is absolutely perfect in a 3-5-2, and then Mane gets up and down that pitch. You want people who are workhorses on the wings because they're gonna need to run a lot, and if I usually make a sub, the wing players are actually usually the people that I make the sub for. I either bring in a Rashford, a Mane, someone like a Zaha, someone who can really like make an impact with a lot of pace down the wing, because there's going to be a lot of space and a lot of overload down those wings. Now, also on top of that, again, we've got our 2 solid center defensive mids, and we've got a solid backline in Mendy, Ferdinand, and Varane. And coming over to the instructions now, what we have is a false 9 once again on Sandrini. We have again behind on Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's nothing really too different with the strikers. It's the same thing as the 4-4-2. Our central cam, I want to stay forward, so we always have that diamond as an outlet up the top, so we can always break really quickly in order to score goals on the break. And then also as well, we have our wide players. Now, this is really important, I think. I have balance width. I get into the box of the cross, so they make those attacking runs, as we said before, but I have comeback on defense. And the reason why this is because the weakness of this formation is the wing backs. They are exposed. You've only got 3 center backs, and they're pretty narrow-ish. So if you don't have these boys on comeback on defense, they don't make those track backs. And for people that run like a 4-4-2, they can kind of just make that through ball down the line, and you're going to be in a lot of problem. You kind of have to like make a lot of manual tackles with your wingbacks. So that's kind of the weakness with this formation. However, it overloads a lot of people going forward, and if you need a goal, this is a great formation to do so. And having them on comeback and defense just means that if you don't bring the player out, the AI is going to be in position to intercept the play. So they actually act as a winger as also as a wingback. So I find it's really good to have them on comeback on defense, and then also get in the box of the cross, just so we said before. So they make those attacking runs if you need a layoff, or if you need to whip the ball in, they're going to be there for you, and they'll be getting up and down the pitch a lot. Now, once again, on our 2 CDMs, we have stay back while attacking and cover center, just because they need to be in place, and you want them to be the core of the team. And then for our 3 center backs, you want fast boys. Once again, they need to be very, very solid. I feel like Mendy is incredible in this game, so I have no problem playing with him at center back. And then I've got Rio Ferdinand and Varane, and they do absolutely sensationally well. And they're all on stay back while attacking. Nothing really all too crazy there. And that's basically the 3-5-2. It's kind of like a send it formation. And I find it actually really effective, because when you play with this formation and you have people going forward, there's often 5-6 people in your attack kind of pushing into the box. You've got your 2 strikers, your 2 wingers, your central cam, and then one of Renato or Blanc end up kind of going in there as well. And if you're able to play quick and you're able to find an opening, it's really good to kind of expose space in your opponent's defense, and you're able to get a goal or two back. And I've definitely made some really good comebacks with this formation. Just this past weekend, we actually managed to go from 4-1 down in the 75th minute to win the game 8-4 in extra time. So I find it really, really good. Switching to 3-5-2, I found it really effective for me, and yeah, I just like it a lot. So that's kind of my two formations that I run mainly in the weekend league, is a 4-4-2 and a 3-5-2 post patch. However, I'm also going to talk a bit about the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-4-2, and tell you their role in all of this custom tactics for us. Now, as we just said, we have two final formations that we need to go through, and I'm only going to briefly go through them. If you really want to know a lot about them in detail, I'm gonna refer you back to our previous custom tactics video, because we went through them in a big amount of detail, just to prevent the video from going too long. But these two are just like exception cases. If there's a certain game situation that I need to switch to, I'll go and I'll use those. So the first one is a 4-2-3-1, and the reason why I use this formation is to seal out a game. If I need to solidify my defense, if I find like I'm too open in the 4-4-2, this is the formation to go to. It makes the CMs come back to CDMs, it condenses the midfield a lot more, and it makes it just a lot harder to score for my opponents. And this is a great formation in order to seal out a game. I use a balanced 4 width, 6 width, 4 depth, and I'm usually able to seal out a lot of games in this formation. And you guys know, for the 4-2-3-1, it's such a solid formation, but when you're going and you're attacking, it really, really struggles. And that's why I'm kind of using the 4-4-2 a lot more now, just getting a lot more bodies forward, getting the players wider, and that's why I've kind of been finding success in the 4-4-2. However, if you do need to seal out a formation, I think a 4-2-3-1 is absolutely sensational. But once again, if you need to know a bit more detail about this formation, do refer to the other previous custom tactics video. Now, also on top of that as well, we have a 4-2-2-2, and this is a very rare circumstance case. And what I would say this is great for is if you're playing up against a player, you're down by a goal, you need a goal, but they're not really holding the ball in the midfield, they're just kind of bombing the wings. In the 3-5-2, the weakness of the 3-5-2 is those through balls in behind the wingers. And in the 4-2-2, that kind of prevents that, because you've now got two players wide and you haven't got players in the middle. So if people play through the middle, then normally you'd go and switch to the 3-5-2, and I find that very effective. However, if they're playing a lot through the wings and kind of whipping in crosses and all that sort of stuff, the 4-4-2 is a great counter to this, because you've now got two players wide, you can press them well as well, and it doesn't really matter if you're not pressing in the middle, because they're not holding the ball in the middle, they're kind of just going through the wings. So I think this is a great formation to counter that, and that's kind of how all my custom tactics set up. We've got, of course, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2 is my main one, a 4-2-2 to win back games if they're playing through the wide, and a 3-5-2 to win games if they're playing through the center. And that's kind of how I've run out my custom tactics post-patch. Hopefully you guys find this informational and find this helpful. But I think the main takeaway is to understand that more people are playing a lot more defensive, and not so much to win now, but just to hold out games, which I don't think, for me personally, is the best way to play FIFA. You should always go for the win. And that's why I kind of play my custom tactics. I want to be progressive. I want to be in your face. I want to get the ball back. I want to score. And these custom tactics allow me to do so. So that's kind of why I've been running the 4-4-2, which is a lot more wider, it's a lot more attacking, and the 3-5-2 is an even larger extension of that. So hopefully you find this video informational, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, hopefully they'll help your custom tactics once again improve your FIFA fundamentals, but also take these custom tactics into consideration, try them out, see how they go. If they work for you, then absolutely brilliant. If they don't, then maybe try some other custom tactics and see how they go. But that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Hope you found it informational. If you did, don't forget to smash the big old thumbs up, hit the subscribe as well, and leave a comment. Let me know how you found them, and if you end up trying them out. And also, let us know if you have any custom tactics that you think that we should try out, because it's always good to spread information around and let people know on what's effective in the game, because we all want to try and become better FIFA players. But thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and much love. Take care. Have a good one, and peace.
Broken.